Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle, and the purpose of these videos is to share encouragement and wisdom from my college years that is rooted in my Christian faith. So I just got back from visiting my sister in Houston. She moved out there about 2 years ago after graduating from college and has been living there ever since. So we don't get to see each other in person very often, but we have managed to maintain a pretty close relationship. And really, that relationship was cultivated during our time in college. We both went to Penn State, and my sister is 2 years older than me, so my first 2 years of college were spent going to school with my sister, which was so much fun. It's so much fun going to school with a sibling, but that relationship wasn't always there. And really, in high school, my sister and I really struggled to see eye to eye, and as a result, we butt heads a lot. But I thought that it would be a good idea to share a little bit of how I've seen God work in my relationship with my sister through our college years, and really just hope that it can be an encouragement to anyone who maybe has someone in their life that they want to have a stronger relationship with, but they struggle to see past their differences. So, just to give a little background, my sister and I are very different. Personality wise, my sister is very independent, very strong willed, and at times stubborn, and I am much more sensitive, much more in tune with emotions, and at times needy. So, I think at our worst, I've seen my sister as being kind of insensitive, and she sees me as being overdramatic. But my sister and I also value different things. And as a result, we see the world differently. We make decisions differently. And I think that's another thing that kind of put a strain on our relationship when we were younger, is that we couldn't understand from our perspective why the other one was spending their time a certain way or making a certain decision that we wouldn't make ourselves. Our personality differences continued to cause friction into the beginning of college. I remember my first week at Penn State, we got in a big fight because I was asking my sister so many questions like, how do you do this? And where is this? And how do I get here? And how does this work? And she was like, Danielle, you need to start figuring this stuff out for yourself. And then we didn't talk for a couple of days. And it wasn't really until my sophomore year and my sister's senior year that our friendship really began to strengthen. And one reason is because we had spent a good chunk of time away from each other. My sister studied abroad during the spring semester of my freshman year, and then we both spent the summer working in different states. So by the time school started again, it had been a couple months since we had really spent any time together. But another thing that drew us close was that we both started to go through a series of challenges. We both had really challenging semesters academically, and we were struggling in similar ways in terms of having one or two really difficult classes. We were also both struggling in our friendships. We were both dealing with challenging roommate situations, and we were both kind of going through a period where we were feeling betrayed by friends, and we were also both feeling really confused about what was next for us. My sister was graduating that year, and I was in the process of changing my major and figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. And it was like for the first time we were on the same page and we needed each other to get through that season of life. I often think back to that fall semester of sophomore year and how when I was in the midst of it, I was like, why are these things happening to me? Like, why do I have to go through this? And then I remember how it was like every defeat that I faced or every challenge or even every victory, it was like my sister's life was mirroring my life. And it was the most bizarre, but also the most comforting thing to have someone to walk through that season with, and knowing that we were in it together, and now seeing how it really strengthened our friendship and our relationship. Now, my sister and I have both graduated from college. She's living in Texas, and I'm still living in Pennsylvania. But even though we are the furthest that we've ever been from each other, our relationship is the strongest that it's ever been. We talk on the phone every week. and we talk for hours, literally. We talk about our struggles and challenges or exciting things that are happening in our lives, but mostly we just talk to talk. My sister will call me if she's in the grocery store and needs someone to talk to, or I'll call her between classes or if I'm just having a frantic moment. And I never really imagined my sister being my go to person, but I thank God for how He really used a challenging situation to bring us closer together, and for how that relationship has continued to stay strong. Even though we still are very different and we still disagree on things and we still at times butt heads, those things no longer dictate the strength of our relationship because it's been built on something stronger as we have learned to be open with each other and to walk through those struggles together. So, if you are someone who is struggling with loving another family member, or you have someone in your life that you struggle to see eye to eye with, I just want to encourage you to first pray for that person and for that relationship. I've prayed continually for my sister and continue to pray for her. And I found that when I give my frustrations to God, that He has really softened my heart toward my sister. And usually it's by revealing my own pride and showing me that maybe I need to change my attitude or my expectations and instead try to meet my sister where she is. Another thing that I encourage you to do is to really open yourself up to that person. I think one thing that has hindered my relationship with my sister in the past is kind of putting up a wall and not wanting to be real about the things that I'm struggling with. But I found that as I do allow myself to open up and be vulnerable, that either my sister is able to relate to my situation or she's able to give me advice that's actually valuable. And then that helps both of us because she feels like she's giving me valuable advice and I don't feel as alone in my situation. And a final thing I would say is just to not give up. Relationships, and especially relationships with family, are the most important things in life. And it makes me sad when I hear stories of grown adults who are like, I haven't talked to my sister or my brother in years. And while I know that every situation is different, I think that you also need to make a decision that I want this person in my life. And so I'm going to fight for this friendship and I'm going to put my pride aside and continue to love this person. And I'm going to do it now while I do still live with them or while I'm still close to them because it only gets harder the older that you get and the more further away that you are. So I hope that this story could encourage you, just as I am reminded how God used a challenging season in both my life and my sister's life to allow us to walk through it together and to grow closer in the process. And how, in a lot of ways, this season was an answer to prayer. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you have a great week, and I will see you in my next video.